Good morning. My name is Fatih Ozcan. I am the Regional Director for the Dialogue Institute, and I am humbled and honored to be welcomed in this important occasion. And I just wrote my statements I will be reading, and I apologize for my accent, but you know, it has been 15 years, I couldn't fix it, so it is your duty to understand. So, religion is an expression of love to all humanity. Despite the fact that all human beings are entitled to dignity, regardless of who they are and the beliefs they hold, religious extremism takes place more often nowadays. An extremist action carried by a group causes other types of extremism in our society. In all cases, innocent people and their families suffer. Because of that, Voices Against Extremism aims to address religious extremism issue. According to a research conducted by Institute for Economics and Peace, the total number of deaths as a result of the attack of terrorist groups in 2015 reached 32,685, the highest level ever recorded, constituting an 80% increase since 2014. However, the majority of terrorist attacks in the West are not carried out by well-organized international groups. Instead, the terrorist threat in the West largely comes from lone wolf terrorism. Lone wolf terrorists are individuals or small number of individuals who commit an attack in support of a group, movement, or ideology without material assistance or other forms of support. Their motivations are racial, religious supremacy, individual issues, religious fundamentalism, and political extremism. In that regard, 70% of all terrorist attacks in the West caused by lone wolf attacks, which means these people are inspired by an ideology and committed terrorism on their own. Only 30% are directly organized by terrorist groups. This data show that hatred has started to become driving force in our society rather than love. In synagogues, churches, mosques, while we teach love, tolerance, and understanding as the essence of our religions, hatred started to become a way of expression of faith. Unfortunately, hatred has become driving force in some of believers' lives. Mr. Fethullah Gülen, a well-respected Turkish Muslim scholar, has encouraged Muslims to combat against extremism through education and dialogue activities for many years. He suggests that we must do our best to educate our people on this matter. It appears that some headway is being achieved through dialogue and education efforts. He says we must teach that achieving any goal by killing people is not the way of prophets or the prophets or friends of God. Voices Against Extremism help us become one voice against all forms of violence, extremism, and restore love, tolerance, and understanding back in our society. In this one-page declaration, when you consider wide range of diversity in drafting committee, you will hear voice of Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives, Christians, Jews and Muslims, Catholics, Episcopals and United Methodists, civic organizations, public and private university presidents and faculty members, Democrat and Republican politicians, and etc. Most importantly, you will hear voice coming from Mount Sinai saying, "You shall not murder." Would you join that voice? Voices Against Extremism is a prayer offered to our enemies as we follow the voice coming from Mount Olive, saying, "Love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you." Would you join that voice? And yet you will hear the voice of Muhammad coming from Mount Paran, affirming that killing one person unjustly is equal to killing all humanity, and saving one's life is equal saving all of humanity. Would you join that voice? Before closing my remarks, I would like to thank Mr. Fethullah Gülen for his firm stand and statements helping us to take this action against extremism. Most importantly, I would like to thank the Right Reverend Bishop Swanson and Mississippi Conference of United Methodist Church for welcoming the Voices Against Extremism coming from Mount Sinai, Mount Olive, and Mount Paran. Thank you so much.